Yo, what up? What's good, world? Welcome to episode 8 of Toughest Balls. I am your host, Mark Brown, and today we got quite a bit for you. We're going to switch it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We got my sister over here on the technical thing. She's the editor and all that, so we got her chiming in from time to time. From now on, we got a whole new mic set up. Yeah, so we got that. Yeah, so we're going to get into quite a bit today. We're going to talk about the results from AEW Fight for the Fallen. Also, going to get into some NBA. Everything that's going on with Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden back together. And who's number one in the Eastern Conference? Yeah, so we're gonna get into that. Looking forward. Third thing we're gonna get into. Looking forward. It's going down this weekend. We got a fight going down, a boxing match between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Who's going to win that? We're going to get into that as well. At the end of the show, we got a couple album reviews. I personally reviewed these albums. The albums are, the first one is The Revenge of the Dreamers 3. That's from J. Cole and his crew Dreamville. And the second album is from Big K.R.I.T. K.R.I.T is here. So yeah, we got quite a bit going on today. Yeah, so let's get right into it as we always do here on Toughest Balls. Once again, I want to thank you for joining on this Friday, June 19th, July 19th. Wow, I'm going back in time. July 19th, 2019. Yeah, so we're going to get into the results of Fight for the Fallen AEW. Personally, I did like this event. Now, wasn't there greatest that they had so far. I thought Fighter Fest was a little better, and of course, Double or Nothing. That was everything. So, but Fight for the Fallen was a good event. The first match I want to get into was the main event, and that was Cody and Dustin Rhodes versus the Young Bucks, and that was a solid match. This match didn't really go the Young Bucks type of pace with all the acrobatics and maneuvers. Cody and Dustin was able to pace this match in their style, which is a little slower. Still was a solid match. But on the whole card, if you ask me, my personal favorite was Kenny Omega versus Shima. I thought I couldn't tell who was gonna win this match. You probably could have said you knew Kenny Omega was gonna win this, but I mean, if you watch that match, Shima is a veteran, and he put on. He's a veteran, so he did what a veteran like him does. He put on a show and showed that he belongs amongst the top stars, in not just AEW but in professional wrestling. Period. We saw him last month. At Fyter Fest, he went against Christopher Daniels, and that match was a great match as well. So, yeah, the next match I want to talk about, that was the Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela versus MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Shawn Spears. This had some cool spots. I thought it was funny that MJF and Shawn Spears on the same team, and you could see in the body language that MJF did not want to be on the same team as Shawn Spears. But yeah, it was some cool spots in that match. Nothing really stood out that I would would talk about, but yeah, altogether, I thought Fight for the Fallen was a good event, and it should lead into great until next month's pay-per-view All Out, where you have the main event there with Chris Jericho going against Hangman Page for the AEW championship. So they led into that match well, with Chris Jericho coming down in disguise, and him really beating down Hangman Page and busting Hangman Page, and Hangman Page had to get stitches, and like he had a black eye as well from that. So they're really doing well with keeping you interested into their next events. Of course, like we talked about before they start their weekly shows this fall. So with that said, I thought it was all around good event. This event was done to raise money for the shooting last August, Jacksonville Landing, at the video game event, which was still shocking to hear about it. I believe 3 people died that day, including the shooter, and I believe 11 others were wounded, give or take a couple, I believe. So it was a great, all around great event to raise awareness for that cause, and hopefully this could deter other shootings from happening in the future, no matter what part of the country you're in. So yeah, AEW already giving back, and big ups to them for recognizing something that was needed in the city of Jacksonville like that. And it was a great event. The venue was awesome. It's same property as the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium. This that venue was meant for concerts, and as you can see through television, it does well with wrestling events. So hopefully that's not the last wrestling event we see in that and at that venue. I doubt it will be the last one, especially with AEW and everything that Tony Khan and all the officials at AEW are doing. We shall see a lot more coming at that venue, I would say. Yeah, so moving right along, I was going to get into the results of WWE Extreme Rules, but I didn't watch all of that, so that's going to have to be on the next episode. I mean, WWE is just not... It's just not drawing me, man. I'm a grown man. I'm 42. I'm going to be 43 years old. And they're just not drawing me in. It's a casual fan show.
Man, it used to be so exciting back then.
It's a casual fan show. Mm-hmm. You might as well put WWE on Disney Channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so true. Sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm being honest. You might as well do that.
Yep.
It's gotten to that point, and
Mm-mm.
I believe there were reports that said that that's what Vince McMahon wanted to do with WWE. He wanted to one day sell it to Disney, and if that's his plan, he's on the right trajectory to do that. I don't want to see that because everyone's selling to Disney. I didn't want to see Star Wars, and now Disney has that. I didn't want to see Marvel, now Disney has that. And
Damn.
by the looks of it, Disney's gonna have WWE. Even if they want it, it's WWE. Does Disney look at WWE as a profitable product?
John Cena.
That maybe that's all they can. Yeah, John Cena, The Rock. They could use all those the old material, the Hulk Hogan's, and they can use all that.
They made
the old characters,
on Disney Channel, shows. Yeah,
all them. Everybody called. Well, The Rock called John Cena. Fruity Pebbles. He wear Fruity Pebble colors. So I mean, WWE's got to do something. I mean, they try and do something with the whole Bray Wyatt and his whole character, The Fiend, and I didn't like how that whole presentation went down this past week. I mean, the crowd was sort of excited, but I'm telling you, half that crowd didn't know who he was. They was like, "Who is this guy with the clown mask?"
Oh man!
I said it to soon to be co-host Jay Sizzle. I said to him, I said, there's some dad in the audience with his kids, and he's like, hey, oh my God, look at there, Brad. Who's that, Brad? Who's that? Alicia? Is that the killer clown? Oh my God, WWE has a killer clown now. I mean, they don't know. Casual fans don't watch all the time, so how are they gonna know the dude with the mask on unless he took off the mask, and he did not take off the mask, which was cool to me. I mean, I knew where he's going, but I doubt most of the people knew. Half of the crowd was saying this is awesome, but that was only like half of the crowd, even if it was half the crowd. They better not mess this up, and hopefully on SmackDown with the whole Kevin Owens thing, they keep that whole thing going, because I mean, they're just not doing anything to draw me, and I'm not gonna watch a show being bored. I mean, wrestling should be fun to watch. It should not feel like a job to watch wrestling. I'm not trying to watch wrestling like that. So hopefully they end up changing soon. But I will do my due diligence and bring you more WWE reviews. I'm gonna bring you my take on the last few NXTs next week, because that's the only product, like I said, that WWE produces that I do support and I do like. So with that said, let's move on to the NBA and what's going on there. Still with the free agency, all that craziness is all done with, and the last thing that happened, Chris Paul with Oklahoma City Thunder, and the talk was they were going to try to move him to another team, but it looks like the market for Chris Paul is not there, and looks like he's going to be with the team at the beginning of the season. So if he gets traded, it's going to be during the NBA season, because it looks like it's not going to happen anytime soon, unless a team comes out of nowhere and thinks they need Chris Paul to either get in the playoffs or win a championship. And it's just kind of sad to see this happen to Chris Paul. I remember some years ago when the He wanted to go to the Lakers, and the commissioner at the time, David Stern, he stopped that from happening. And at the time, I never seen the commissioner use his power like that, but he stopped that from happening. This was Chris Paul was with the Hornets, and Chris Paul ended up going to, instead of the Lakers, he ended up going to the Clippers, and they tried for some years and they didn't get as far as they wanted, and so Chris Paul left there, and he ended up in Houston, and looked like it was gonna work out, and he got injured in the playoffs a couple seasons ago, and then last year their one run wasn't that good in the playoffs, and it just didn't work out. And now Oklahoma City has him now, and now it just looks like we're doing a waiting game, either him staying in Oklahoma or him being moved and being traded to another team if another team wants him. So it's just sad to see that's going on with Chris Paul. He's a Hall of Famer. I say he deserves to be on a championship team just because I like Chris Paul, and I think he's one of the best point guards to ever play in the NBA. With that said, speaking of OKC, Russell Westbrook, who Chris Paul was traded for, is with the Rockets now, the Houston Rockets, and now him and James Harden are back together again, and it should be interesting. I don't know how it will work out because when they were on Oklahoma City together, James Harden was more of the sixth man. He came off the bench and controlled the team, while Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook sat the bench. Not saying that they didn't play together at all, but that was more of James Harden role back then, was the sixth man. But when they played together, when they all three of them were on court, I thought they played well together. But that was a totally different James Harden back then to the James Harden we have now. The James Harden we have now is a fully developed superstar, and he's going to be the lead of the team. So can Russell Westbrook play, be that second guy instead of being that ball dominant guy like he was with OKC? I don't know. Will they use him like before? Will both of them be on the court at the same time? And who's going to be the one that's controlling the offense? Will it be James Harden? Will it be Russell Westbrook? Will they play off each other? Will it be both of them? Taking turns at controlling the offense. I don't know. It's interesting to see what happens with them now that they're playing together again, and yeah. So looking forward. It's crazy that the NBA season has been over since last month. The championship, was last month, and it's July, and we're about to go into August, and we're still talking about the NBA, and not one game is being played besides the summer league that's being played. No one really pays attention to the summer league because it's the rookies and the second year guys that are playing. So unless you're a diehard basketball fan, you're probably the only one paying attention to the summer league. But everyone else, we're waiting for the regular season to get started, even preseason, because you can get a taste and see what everyone on their new teams is going to look like. That includes Boston with Kemba Walker, and they have Ennis Cantor now, and they have some rookies coming in. Not sure they keep the rookies. We'll see after the summer league is over. We see Taco Fall from UCF, University of Central Florida. He's been playing with the Celtics in the summer league. That kid is, man, I can't believe how tall he is. I believe he's 7'6".
Yeah, dang.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He doesn't even have to jump to dunk. All he has to do is reach up and
Drop
you
it
can
in.
dunk. Yeah, So, but yeah, that's interesting to see everyone on their new teams and what happens with Jimmy Butler on the Miami Heat. That's something to look forward to, and Anthony Davis on the Lakers, and Kawhi Leonard, Paul George on the Los Angeles Clippers, and you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on Brooklyn Nets now, but of course Kevin Durant won't be playing next season because of his injury, but it'll be cool to see everyone on their different teams now. I'm a Celtics fan and a Magic fan, but I just have to say it's sad to see Al Horford on the Philadelphia 76ers now. But I saw a report that the Celtics are saying the 76ers might have tampered with Al Horford before they were allowed to talk to him. So I just saw the headline. I didn't look at the report. So I will get into that more on the next episode, on episode 9. Yeah, so that's kind of crazy because I just saw that come across earlier today. So, man, if they did that could be a big violation and maybe a hefty fine if it's true. So we'll see what's going to happen, what's going on with that situation. And as we're talking about the Eastern Conference and the 76ers and the Celtics and the Heat and the other teams, let's stay in the East. Like, who will be the number one team in the East next season? I don't think it will be I think we have to count out Toronto because their team's totally different now. I saw that Kyle Lowry got surgery on his thumb, and Danny Green is gone. Kawhi Leonard isn't there anymore. So yeah, other players will have to step up, but I don't think they will be the number one team. You have to look at Philadelphia. You have to look at Milwaukee, Boston. I don't know if you can put the Brooklyn Nets up there, just because Kevin Durant is not playing and Kyrie is. So I don't know if you can put them up there. So yeah, Indiana, they're going to be challenging for one of those top 4 spots. So it's going to be interesting. Miami, they're going to compete. I don't know if they will be competing for any of the top 4 or 5 spots. I believe they can get in the top 8. Definitely believe that, but I don't know if they'll be competing for any of the top 5 spots. But yeah, who will be that number one team? Will it be Milwaukee again? Boston? Philly? Yeah. So that's something that's we need to keep our eye on as it pertains to the Eastern Conference. my personal favorite. I don't know, maybe just because I lived on the East Coast my whole life. Maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah, I still got to get out to the West Coast, check out uh, the state of Washington and California. The furthest west I've been is Las Vegas, and that was cool. Can't wait to get back there. It's been some years. Got to get back to Vegas. Got to go to Vegas. Never been to Vegas. You got to go to Vegas, people. Go to Vegas, have some fun. If you like to gamble, you probably win a little more money than you would in Atlantic City. Definitely, you'll win more money than what you win in my home state, Connecticut. Because I don't win nothing over at these casinos. These casinos are tight. They are stingy. I mean, since I've been going to these casinos, I think I only won $100, and that was this past year on my wedding anniversary, and I just think I got lucky. But yeah, go to Vegas. You want to win a few hundred on those slot machines. You probably can win more on the tables. Yeah, so yeah. With that said, moving right along from the NBA, things that we're gonna look forward to this weekend. Well, the one thing we're looking forward to is the big boxing match tomorrow night between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Now, I haven't been focused on boxing like I have in the past, and I haven't seen Keith Thurman last fight. But if I'm going off what I saw of him last, and going off Manny Pacquiao's fight with Adrian Bronner, I don't know. I mean, personally, I like Keith Thurman. That's my guy. I like him. He's very intelligent. But if I'm going off what I saw of both of these fighters last, I'm going to have to give the edge to Manny Pacquiao, just because if you saw the fight between Pacquiao and Bronner, he schooled Adrian Bronner. That's why Adrian Bronner in the fight looked like a total idiot, talking about, I won this fight. I won the fight. Yeah, I mean, he looked like a real soft punk right there, talking about you won a fight and you clearly lost. I mean, Manny Pacquiao schooled you. You're the younger guy, and Manny Pacquiao looked like he was 10 years younger than you. That's crazy. That's crazy. When Manny Pacquiao is the older, seasoned veteran. But this should be a good fight. I'm pulling for Keith Thurman. I'm hoping Keith Thurman wins. I'm hoping he wins. But I don't know. I'm thinking Manny Pacquiao is going to take this one. I really do. Well, I'm just not hoping they're not trying to push for another Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, because I don't believe anyone wants to see two old men fight, especially now. We already saw that Manny Pacquiao claims he had a bum shoulder, he had a hurt shoulder, but whatever, you lost, and we don't want to see that again. And with this fight with Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, I say Manny Pacquiao probably win this one, even though I'm pulling for Keith Thurman to take this. Yeah, so with that said, what's going on with boxing, man? We used to get like more exciting fights back to back, and I think the one thing that's disappointing with boxing is that we don't they don't give you the fights that the people want when they want it. They'll give you those fights a few years later, a few years down the road, but they don't give you the fight when the people want it. And I think that's where boxing messes up every time. There's no commission over boxing that controls it's not a league. Boxing is a profession, but there's not a boxing league, that controls every federation when it comes to the IBF, the WBC, WBA, and the WBO. All of those entities are on their own, and they pick the fighter that they want to fight their champion. And it's never a unanimous decision of who's number one in that division. All those federations have their own number one, and it's just messed up because the UFC gets it right. The UFC gets it right. I don't even think pro wrestling gets it right every time with picking the matches, but I believe the UFC gets it right every time with giving you the matches the people want to see when the people want to see it. So when the people are ready to see a fight, it happens. In boxing, you'll wait 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 10 years. We waited forever for that Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather fight. I mean, it made money, even though I appreciate boxing. I know what I'm watching with boxing. So if somebody's giving great offense, I appreciate that. But if somebody has good defense, I appreciate that too. So if you can't hit somebody, that guy's good. I gotta give that guy credit. That's part of boxing. That's part of boxing, to hit and not get hit. That's what boxing is. I hit you and I'm supposed to stop you from hitting me. And people don't understand. They think boxing is supposed to be, oh, I hit you, then you hit me. No, I hit you, you hit me. No, it's supposed to be I hit you and then I make you miss.
Bob and weave.
Yeah. That's what boxing is. And people don't understand. Now, you got casual fans that don't, watch boxing on a regular basis. And I've been watching this stuff since I was a kid. Between that and pro wrestling, I don't know what's more my favorite. I love pro wrestling. I love boxing. And on Tough as Balls, we're going to be bringing more boxing to you. I mean, shoot, I have boxing gloves in the logo. I should be bringing you more boxing. Right? Even though that's not what the glove stands for. Yeah. Sports in general, but we're going to be bringing you more boxing, and I'm going to be talking about more UFC. Because I've been slacking on that. I do like the UFC, but I've been slacking on. I'm going to bring you. I mean, the UFC has events every weekend. Every weekend, either a fight night on ESPN or a pay-per-view. I mean, they're bringing you great events every week. So shout out to the UFC. We're going to be bringing you more of that. We're going to be bringing you more boxing. So with that said, Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. Make sure you check that one out. It should be a good fight. But like I said before, I think I'm going to pick Manny Pacquiao. I'm pulling for Thurman. Like I said, I'm pulling for Thurman, but I think Pacquiao is going to take this one. Yeah. And with that said, before we get out of here, we got a couple album reviews I want to get into. The first one I want to talk about is from J. Cole and his team, Dreamville. It's Revenge of the Dreamers 3. And I gotta say, I saw people complain about, it could have been better and everything. I think people just like to complain, especially like millennials and all these young kids. At the teens and early 20s. Like you just like to complain about everything. Like I think this is a solid project. I really think this was a solid project. Uh, and one of my favorite tracks on there is track 2, called Down Bad. That's one of the my favorite tracks on the whole project. Is solid. I mean, one song I could have done without on the album. I believe it's called Got Me, and I believe that's featuring Ty Dolla Sign and Kehlani. I mean, it's just I could have done without that. It's kind of like on one of Big K.R.I.T, his last album. He had a song called with Lloyd called "Back That Ass Up," and I mean, it was like, oh, it was okay, it was alright. It's not one of those songs you're like, oh, I gotta listen to that song. Oh, that's my jam. No, it's not one of those songs, and that's what I got from Got Me. But besides that, I think this is a solid project that I will have on repeat. I will listen to this over and over. You hear J. Cole on a few songs. He really let his team shine on this project, and they put out a good project. Yeah, I really think they put out a solid project. And if you haven't yet, make sure you go check that out. Okay, it's J. Cole and Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. It's a good project. Yeah, make sure you stream it or buy it wherever you purchase your music. Yeah. And the last project I want to review is from my guy Big K.R.I.T, and been waiting for this album for a while now. Ever since it's been a couple years since his last album, so I've been waiting for this one for a while. K.R.I.T is Here is the name of the album. Is spelled I-Z. Make sure you download that and check that one out. This whole project is good in my opinion. He even has a track with J. Cole, is track 11, called Prove It. I mean, my opinion, Big K.R.I.T never disappoints when it comes to the whole project, where you could listen to the album, where you could turn it on and don't really have to skip a song. I believe that's what you can do with K.R.I.T is Here. He really a seasoned vet at this point. I remember first hearing him on Currency's album Pilot Talk, and man, how he's grown from there. If you listen to Big K.R.I.T back then, that was 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 2009, 2010. So yeah, it's, man, the years are flying by. These guys will be, veterans in the game now, almost at that OG status, and probably is looked at as an OG from the younger artists. But yeah, this whole album is good. Make sure you check it out. Of course, K.R.I.T Here, that was one of the singles that he's been dropping over the months. I believe he dropped three songs from this project throughout the months before it dropped. And like I said, to me, it's another classic from Big K.R.I.T, and make sure you check it out. He got a track on there with Yellow Beezy called I Made. He has another track with Rico Love called Obvious. He has uh, uh, another song called Addiction, and that track is dope with featuring Lil Wayne and Saweetie. So make sure you check that out. That's definitely uh, one of those club bangers. I mean, the bass line. As soon as you hear it, you like, man, they should play this one in the club. It's definitely a strip club song, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's one of those grooves that you can put on repeat and it will bang. If you got a system in your car, this track will bang. That's Addiction, featuring Lil Wayne and Saweetie. Yeah, so make sure you check that out. I mean, the whole project is solid. I mean, this is a solid project. I'm saying it's a classic. Coming from Big K.R.I.T, I'm saying it's a classic. So big up to Big K.R.I.T for being a real artist. A lot of people know he produces a lot of his songs too, but he does work with other producers. I believe he worked with Rico Love on this project. So yeah, K.R.I.T, to me, he never disappoints. I remember when I first heard him, I was a big Currency fan. I was all on Currency. Now, I mean, I'm still a Currency fan, still like Currency, but because of the music Big K.R.I.T has put out, I gotta say, he's to me, he's edged. He's edged Currency. That's just from my personal consumption. I'm liking Big K.R.I.T more now than Currency. And like I said, I'm still a Currency dude. I still like Currency, but Big K.R.I.T, he's a soulful guy. He's an intelligent MC. He's a storyteller, and he's real, and nothing about him is fake. He's just one of the realest artists out there. It's him. It's J. Cole. It's Kendrick Lamar. It's just artists like that make me still love hip hop and make me still listen and look forward to hip hop albums dropping. And it's always exciting when an artist grows in the business and you see them grow. You saw Big K.R.I.T basically go from nothing to something, and he's an amazing talent. And make sure you check out those projects. That's Big K.R.I.T. K.R.I.T is here, and the other one is J. Cole and Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Those are two great albums. You gotta check out. Yeah, and before we get out of here, I just want to tell you thank you for listening, and make sure you follow the show on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. It's Tough as Balls, just like that. Not hard at all. You can follow us, and make sure you checking us out wherever you checking out your podcast. If it's on Apple Podcasts, if it's on TuneIn, if it's on Podbeam, Overcast, wherever you're consuming your podcast, make sure you're tuning in to Tough as Balls. All right, and like I said, follow us on all social media: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Tough as Balls. I am your host, Mark Brown, and we will see you next week for episode 9 of Toughest Balls. And we are out of here. Peace.
For every boy and girl, it's just a little start, so we impact the world. Don't forget who you are. It's not about buying cars. This is the very thing that makes you more than a superstar. You got to give them love, show them what's in your heart, and it will stand the test of time just like a piece of art. We got to build our own. We're fighting over bones. Give the people life before this place is dead and gone. There is a brighter day at the end of the road. Make a stronger bridge, now we can take control. Live in our destiny, where every man is free. Put them ones up, cause we're claiming victory. Put them ones up, cause we're claiming victory. Yeah. Now put them ones up, cause we're claiming victory.